Welcome to NRL 360, Rugby League from every angle. Joining me again, the great Gorden, Tallis, Dan Ganane and Dave Riccio. And it's official, Adam O'Brien is done at the Knights. We broke the story last night. 24 hours later, he's officially out of Newcastle. What's the latest?
Yeah, boys, obviously it's a significant development. Another coach in the space of 1 week in the wake of Des Hasler's departure from the Titans. We now have Adam O'Brien finished up at the Newcastle Knights after 6 seasons. By mutual agreement, fellas, this came down today. I can tell you that Adam O'Brien fronted the playing group to reveal that he was stepping aside. And it allows very much, I would say it's very much an amicable split. I wouldn't say it's an ugly divorce or anything in that regard.
Because we always hear mutual agreement.
Yep.
Not always, but often when you do hear mutual agreement, it's actually not a mutual agreement.
Yep.
Is this one a mutual agreement?
Yeah, I do, and I think it speaks to, I mean, talking to the Knights powers that be today, to the point of which I believe Adam O'Brien will go to the presentation night. Like, this is, they wanted to end well here, as well as possible, to the point of which he will finish the last 2 games of the season, playing Cronulla this Sunday, followed by the Parramatta Eels. So, look, we all believed it was in train as far as Adam's time coming towards an end at the Knights, and finally today they've reached a resolution.
We have heard this for a while, though, on and off for a number of years, really. His job's been in question at different times for different reasons. How did this come to a head? What's brought it to this? I know we're saying it's a mutual option and both parties are happy, content in the decision, but what brought it to this?
I think firmly over the last 3 to 4 weeks, the spirit within the side, as far as their fight is concerned, if you think maybe back 6 to 7 weeks ago, they were defending very well as a football team. They were in matches up until halftime against the Melbourne Storm, for an example. But over the last couple of weeks, the air is slowly coming out of the balloon. And I think there's a realisation from Adam O'Brien too, that come round 1 next year, in Las Vegas, if he's still in that hot seat, guess what the headlines are? It's all about how the Newcastle Knights start. And I think he's decided that enough's enough. I think there's a genuine element of fatigue here as a head coach, and that it's time for him to take some time out of the game.
I think it's an honourable, dignified exit. He could have waited and forced them to sack him to get the full payout, and we understand it was a mutual agreement on the payout, which probably tends to think mightn't be the full amount. But I think this is a great way to go in that he does it himself. There is no hostility. And I've got to say, look, 43% doesn't look great. I actually think it's a successful reign. Okay, they didn't hit any great heights. They kept falling into finals and going out the back door. They won 1 final against Canberra in a 5v8. But you know what? Considering where Newcastle were, they were in the depths of despair through the Bennett era, the Nathan Brown, who was trying to rebuild them era. I don't think you can say it's a failed era by any means. 4 finals in 6 appearances in 6 years is not bad. Adam O'Brien's failings, I think, were more PR. You don't take on the Johns brothers early in your stint and sort of call them out. That's not going to work in Newcastle. There are other things I've talked about, not great in press conferences, but these are sort of outside things. Attacking the fans at one point, which to his credit, he acknowledged and apologised the next day, and it takes a man to do that. But from a coaching perspective, I think it's a reasonable run.
Gordy.
Yeah, I think he got all of his ideas over there. And as you said, just the way you explained it with both of you, you can get tired and they need a new voice. And they had been defensively really good all year, right? For the players they've had. And they've had injuries. Everybody gets injuries. But the last month, I think it was up until the weekend, there was like 82 points in 5 games scored against them. So there was something that wasn't quite right. But who comes and replaces him? That's the big question.
Replacing is one thing, and we'll get to that too, Gordy, but recruitment is another. And it's an area that they've struggled in, Dave. Yeah. And we spoke last night about, Dylan, the amount of money he's getting to go there. They've got Kalyn on huge dollars. They're short in the forwards. halves, 9. You know, there's a few key positions they need to fill.
Absolutely, Braith. And if I would argue that ever since Mitchell Pearce moved on, the Knights have never been able to recover with a key half to run that footy team. I'm talking about the likes of Jake Clifford, Adam Clune, Anthony Milford, Jackson Hastings, Tyson Gamble. The list goes on of this revolving door of halves. And coupled with that is the departure of Leo Thompson, Daniel Saifiti, Kurt Mann and Mitch Barnett. They're key figures that have gone on and kicked goals at rival clubs. And I think that is another factor in Adam's departure, that the club have realised that we haven't been able to nail our recruitment. The flip side to that is, fellas, and I'd be interested to get your opinion,
Is that him not being a good lure?
Yep.
Or is that poor decisions by the recruitment?
Yeah.
Or both?
I think it's both. I definitely think it's both. I've been critical of Knights management in the past, and I think, to their credit, I think they've handled this situation very well. But there's no denying the chopping and changing of the hierarchy of the Newcastle Knights. It comes with different decisions every time and different opinions
Jackson
of players.
Hastings, $800,000 a year. Whose decision was that? The coach or the club?
Oh, I would say club at the time, yeah. But look, there's no doubt coach gets a say, but club, I would have leaned towards club there, and that's backfired tremendously.
It's a long time. When did Pearce?
22.
Yeah, that's a long. That's what, 3 seasons where the halves have never been sorted.
Yeah.
That's.
You think about
You're
that.
not going to win. You're not going to do much if you can't get your halves right over such a long span.
Yeah, the irony of all this, fellas, is that now that Adam O'Brien's gone, arguably the Knights are going to have their most competitive and exciting spine in the last, since 22, since Pearce, with Dylan Brown, Fletcher Sharp, Kalyn Ponga and Phoenix Crossland at dummy half. That looks pretty sharp, you know?
So to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know what? It does and it doesn't. Like, the potential of it, yes.
Potential, yep.
And again, that's where they haven't exceeded Newcastle, is developing these players and reaching their potential. Kalyn is a fantastic player, and I've said he can be the best player in the competition. He plays limited games, he's injured a lot. And when he has played, he hasn't been his best this year. But we know how great he is. Dylan Brown, I mean, what are we going to get there?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Like it's already overs even if he does play well there.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't play well there, it's a horrific buy. And then, you've got Fletcher, who's got all the potential in the world. He's been really good at times, but still a jury out on him. And then Phoenix as well. He's a really good player.
Yeah.
But, you're right. There is potential there, and it's exciting if they get it right. And that's why the coach is probably so important. And that leads me to this. I spoke to Peter Parr this morning. The talk around Blake Green being done is not done. So that was a bit premature, which we spoke about in the show last night. I do believe they are going to go through a process and interview coaches. And I've heard as early as this morning Justin Holbrook is the front runner. Don't know how much I can read into that or believe that. He's obviously a chance.
Yeah.
What
do we know about that?
That's firmly my mail that I'm receiving, guys, is that Justin Holbrook is the front runner.
He is the
Newcastle background. There's a Newcastle back, and I think that's I'm not saying that's the prerequisite, but I think that's a plus.
Yep.
I think there needs to be a reconnection to the community somewhat, and that's not the worst thing.
Here he is playing for Newcastle.
He spent 3 years at St Helens coaching
just
guys.
Going back though, you think that's because we did touch on that last night.
I think there are some places you need to have. It's good to have a connection. It
just works.
Well, you know what I found bothersome, and again, you don't go by social media because it's not real life. But last week when the Broncos did their 5-day camp, and they went to Maitland, and
which worked.
Hey, the proof's in the pudding.
The proof's in the pudding.
But they filled Maitland. They filled that showground. Now, let's be honest, they're there to see Reece Walsh, but there was a lot of commenting that why doesn't our club do this sort of thing? And it just made me, I just wonder, I'm not close enough to it, is there a disconnect between the club and the community? I mean, you see those crowds, they're there every week, so every second week. So
I think every coach at every club needs to involve the community. And that is, it can be overlooked, but it is so underestimated. They are your people. They are who support you. They inspire the players, and they are why you play. So, like, I think any coach who goes in there, and especially in Newcastle could be coming last, and they'll have more than any other team coming last would have at their games. That's how loyal these fans are. So you've got to invest into them. And you're right, like having someone who's experienced Newcastle before and knows the town is definitely an advantage. But, you know, the thing is, like, Blake was front centre yesterday.
Yeah.
Now it's Holbrook, and that's only less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
It was 12 hours later
Yeah.
that Holbrook all of a sudden went past him in the horse race.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're going to get a lot of speculation here. Let's just talk about who we think are the options. Is there any other options?
Dean Young is another name that has come across my desk, guys. Current assistant coach of the St George Illawarra Dragons, formerly did a stint with the Cowboys. Definitely has aspirations to be an NRL coach. And from what we know, not only about Dean, but the Young family, they're a hard-nosed bunch. And he would bring toughness and a defensive mindset to that football club. The other one is Willie Peters, who has an increasing resume from what he's achieving in the UK Super League, has an attachment to the Knights, having previously worked there, and also has had an apprenticeship at a number of other clubs as well. So I think they're the names: Justin Holbrook, Blake Green, Dean Young, and Willie Peters.
Willie Peters is interesting to me because he's done some great things over at Hull, but that's out of sight, out of mind here. Now, he's going to be an assistant coach, I believe, at the Kangaroos. Can you confirm that, Gordy?
Can't confirm.
And if he gets rave reviews from players talk. Yep. And he will get, if he gets rave reviews from the players about his intellect and about the way he connects with players, you can bet he will be, if he's not snapped up beforehand, he will be the first cab off the rank next year.
It is incredible how out of sight, out of mind you are in the Super League, you know. He's done an amazing... Like, what, if you actually look at what he's been able to achieve there at Hull KR, it is unbelievable where they were and where they are now. So, yeah, obviously, I'm close with Willie. So I think he's going to be an NRL coach. There's no doubt about that. Whether this is the one or not, I think you do a fantastic job. But he's killing it over there.
Fellas, what will be absolutely critical? And I went and had a look at the off-contract list for 2027. Now, that feels like ages away. Next year's 26, right? In 27, the Knights have 15 players off contract. So from next November 1, 26 November 1, the likes of Kalyn Ponga, Bradman Best, Dylan Lucas, Jacob Saifidi and Dominic Young, arguably the club's best players, will be available on the open market. Now, the initial stages of the new head coach, his ability to show a vision, to show that we're going to have success here, will be absolutely critical to keeping those players off the open market.
I'll tell you what's critical to the new coach is being strong and making tough decisions. You know, because they've gone a bit around in circles a little bit in Newcastle. You know, you've got Blake Green there, who's their attacking coach. He is their halves coach. He's been underneath Adam O'Brien. And he's good mates with Kalyn, and he's close to the playing group, and that's a really good thing. But you're actually going to need someone.
Yeah, but they can't score points.
Exactly. Well, that's one thing. But you're going to need someone to come in there, and this takes me to Kalyn Ponga, right? And I'll get everyone's opinion on this. We spoke last night. Takes up a lot of the cap there. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but they've spent a lot on Dylan. What do they do there? Do they? Here's the stats on Ponga. I mean, 54 games missing, playing 137, win percentage at 37% when they're missing, and 44% when he's playing. So it's not a huge difference for a player of his ilk.
Yep.
And average points there are similar when he plays and when he doesn't. No. Now, the discrepancy there isn't that much for the amount of money that he's on. I love him, and I'm not saying get rid of him, but there's going to have to come a time there where Kalyn either steps up and steps up quick, or whoever comes in makes a tough decision. What do you do if you're the coach? What does the coach do when he comes in?
Well, you want to keep your best players, and Kalyn Ponga is certainly one of those. I think they are. It proves slightly, but he's been Robinson Crusoe there. Yeah. I think they've lacked the number 7 since Mitchell Pearce sort of filled a gap, but since Andrew Johns left. So without the direction, and that club's lost a bit of direction on the footy.
No one's debating his talent, and no one's debating how great he can be. But when you look at the numbers, they don't lie.
No.
They don't lie. So
you take out that 10-game run in 23, and all of a sudden it's about even when he plays and when he doesn't play. Is he the fullback, Braith? Like, would you entertain any thought
Yes.
of putting him in the halves.
I would entertain it. The only problem the last time was his defence and his position of his head. He got knocked out so many times. His timing was out, and they had to put him back because he was getting knocked out, and his technique wasn't good. But if you want your best player touching the ball, because they've always had a game plan in Newcastle of how to get the ball in the best spot on the field for Kalyn to then execute his style, his play, and be effective. Most of the time, they don't get it to him. They can't because their halves haven't been effective enough. But who knows if their next halves will be either. You know, I think it's
So you're
definitely
moving
an
closer
option.
to the ball. You reckon
Closer
moving
to the
5-8.
ball.
So Brown 7, Ponga 6.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah. I'm not saying do it, but I would think that it's an option.
thought, yeah.
It's an option. Yeah.
What's really interesting, guys, is that Dylan Brown is right on the radar of the Kiwi Test team. Stacey Jones wants to pick Dylan Brown, and that will shorten his preparation in joining Newcastle. It's going to be interesting to see if actually Dylan accepts the offer to play with New Zealand. I'm sure he would be passionate about it, but it is going to shorten that pre-season like nothing else under a new coach at Newcastle, of which is a new look spine. It is so critical this pre-season, of which will be shortened anyway due to the fact they're going to Las Vegas. They go earlier than the other rest of the comp. It's huge, absolutely huge.
It'd be interesting when they do their search for the coach, how much this comes up in conversation. What are you going to do with Dylan Brown? How are you going to get the best out of him?
Yep.
What are you going to do with Justin Holbrook? Say this about him, attack-minded coach. Now, his record at the Gold Coast is looking better by the day because what followed since wasn't much chop either. So I can see why they're at least looking at the attacking-minded Holbrook.
All right, Ivan Cleary has defended his decision to rest 16 players as the Panthers chase their 5th straight premiership.
I think we did it pretty much the same last game, 2022. I mean, it's different there. We'd already sealed the minor premiership, I get that. But we just decided that, you know, if we're going to rest a number of them, we might as well just keep going. Every decisions that I kind of make in my jobs, you know, have a lot of different ramifications. Some come clearer than others, and this one was fairly clear, actually.
Will you then reevaluate what you do for the Dragons game?
Oh, I've got a plan for next week. We've got to restart momentum, I guess, and we'll be looking to do that after this week.
The rest fest, eh? It's dividing the game, or is it? I don't have a problem with it.
You love it.
I have no problem with it.
What do you love it
I
so
think
much?
it's strategic genius.
But nothing's been proven.
What do you? It doesn't matter.
Okay. It's strategic genius if what? If what? If they buy
Well, they're going to
out.
be
They're
fresher.
resting their players regardless.
Yeah.
Mate, you are going to be fresher. Our friend here
doubt.
goes to Hawaii every year for 3 weeks or
Do
whatever
you,
it does.
Dan? Where do you start?
Right,
Anyway.
but it does
The
freshen.
Port Douglas. Anyway, it's all good.
It does freshen you up, right? So the only thing that was going to stop Penrith, right? So they were, coming last in round 12? They need to be fresh.
Penrith have shown something over the last couple of weeks that's a little worrisome. With Nathan Cleary, in the 4 years they've won the comp, only once have they blown an 8-point lead. Twice if you include Yo. Twice in 4 years they've blown an 8-point lead. They've done it twice in the last 2 weeks. Doesn't that tell you they are running on empty and that they need a break? I've got a devil's advocate. What if he does it again? What if he rests him for a second straight week?
Well, that's where I found his reaction quite interesting in the press conference today, where he did indicate it's time to get the momentum back next week. Because I thought of that too, Dan. That what's stopping you from doing it again? And continue to rest and get them and run out onto the finals.
Now, let me
fresh
say
as
this.
daisies.
Let me say this. What is the difference between this? All right, it's 16 players. And when he rests 6 of them after an origin. What's the difference?
Well, it's 10 players.
Nothing.
Yes, but it's the same principle. Everyone calls him a genius, and all the coaches, Bellamy, they're geniuses they're looking after their players because they're not going to play in a round 20 clash. What's the difference? What, because it's Thursday night football? Because it's on 9 and it's on Fox? I mean, I understand why TV bosses are filthy. They should be.
Yep,
And I can see the NRL actually trying to legislate against this, whether it's having some system where an X amount of players must be, say, the top 17 paid players, a certain amount of that must be named, and if they're not, the NRL will automatically look at it. I can see that, but even that's fraught with danger.
Which leads me to, I'm a big fan, but my boss isn't such a big fan.
Well, Braith, my contract's up this year, so I'm going to side with my boss.
You've just lost it.
I'm siding with my boss.
No, but we do understand.
But in all seriousness, do you think the NRL need to look at capping the number of players you can rest?
Why?
Well, what if the entire round did it, Gordy? What if the entire round did it?
Well, because when you go to training, when
No,
no
they're
one's
not, right?
They
when
can't
no one's
afford to do
watching
it.
and you're running and you're getting the blood, sweat and tears, you do it to hold a trophy at the end of the
Look,
year.
I don't think I'm bashing the Panthers. I get it. It's very strategic, and I can't wait to watch it unfold. And I totally get it. Dan's right. They've been up for ages. They've had a tough run. And this is an opportunity to do it. But it does open a can of worms. It really does. From NRL crowd point of view, think about the fan that was planning to travel to a core stadium months ago to go and watch this cracking blockbuster in the second last round between the Panthers and Dogs. They've been dudded. There's no other way to look at it. That fan has been dudded. TV ratings will suffer
I
as
reckon
well.
the fan, if they're a Dogs fan, they'll be happy.
Yep.
If they're a Panthers fan and the Panthers are holding up the premiership again,
Yeah.
they'll be happy.
Yeah, well, that's a big if, mate.
It is a big if, but no one's done it before.
Yep.
So why not do something that no one else has done and rest 16 players in preparation for it? You know, like it may not pay off, but
I'm with Penrith.
Yeah, I'm with him too.
I'd like a week off. If I've won 4 grand finals and I've played that
They've
much
been up
footy,
for 5
I've
years.
earned-
I get
think
it.
I've earned the right to miss one club game.
I get
They've given enough to the game
I
and the
get it.
broadcasters the last 5 years, mind you.
But no one's playing up. Melbourne's doing the same thing now. They're playing Munster and
not
they're playing
16
Liero.
players, Dan.
Well, again, where's the line? Where do you draw the line?
That's where maybe the NRL
8
needs to look at.
players is acceptable, but 16 isn't.
We've got a
So then
salary
they do
cap
8
now, we
players,
need to
8
cap
players,
on.
8 players. Because
Well,
you do them.
Look, you think this has opened a can of worms for the NRL to look at. Honestly.
Do you want to compromise? Let's meet halfway. Well, let's
Yeah.
make it 8
We
players.
always compare it.
We'll make
We
it
look
8
at
players.
NFL,
I'll be-
Premier League. How do they do it? NFL.
They rested the whole team, didn't they? The Chiefs, if you.
Well, the last week of the NFL season is a joke, and only 1 or 2 games matter. The rest of them are resting all their players because they're getting ready for the playoffs. This is. I'm surprised it's taken coaches this long to cotton on. And the longer the season gets, the more likely coaches are to do it.
All right, Cameron Serrato has refused to underestimate the new look Panthers side while hitting back at criticism of his captain.
Oh, we sort of got a bit of wind of it in the last week, but again, we didn't think too much of it. We've got no reason to be complacent. We're fighting for every win. We're fighting for improvement every week, and positions in our squad are up for grabs. We've got a lot of responses to it, but I think it's ridiculous. He's one of the most upstanding characters in the game. You know, that incident from the weekend, when you watch all the games of footy, you see 5, 6, 7 of those types of incidents. So if journalists wants to report on them every Monday morning, then might find a few more charges get handed out on a Tuesday or Wednesday afternoon.
You think it was odd?
Yeah, very.
It was very odd, and it was. I mean,
He's turned
Buzz
into a
Rothfield.
coach really quick, hasn't
I
he?
like cranky Cam. I like the cranky version.
Because he was
of Cam
really
Serrato.
nice early. Josh Jamal just there. Now he's
He wasn't.
cranky.
He's not happy. The Buzz is running the game.
Buzzy. That's
Right?
the Buzzy rule.
Buzz is the kingmaker. He got Tim
One
Sheens
thing
his
I will
job, and now
disagree
he's getting these charges.
And he's
like.
talking to the Frizzels too. He's running the Titans at the moment. Well, one thing I will say, and you know, I would have been pissed off if I was Cameron too, if you know, an article has changed
Yeah.
the result.
And there's no doubt it has.
But one thing I can't agree with there is there's 5 or 6. There's 5 or 6 of them happening around. If you keep your eye, that's not the case. There's not 5 or 6 of these happening.
It's
each round.
a surprise they missed it.
How did they? I mean, it was real.
But they do miss things.
I called this
I
game.
know that.
Yeah.
But Dave, this was there. I think we commented on it during the game. It's not as if this is social media footage that sort of, started to do the rounds.
Yeah.
Do we agree?
I
see.
think Serrato's taking umbrage at any suggestion about Crichton's character. Well, he just absolutely the relationship there is so thick.
I agree, and I love.
Look, the
I
players'
love
reaction
Critter.
says it all. Like, mate, when players react, like that's what you watch, right? So the way the boys come in to push him, which means, hey, that's not like straight away, like then that's a reaction.
Yeah,
So it's fair.
Critter's a great human being.
Absolutely.
I love the way that he plays.
Fellas, what's
But
he
you know
trying
what,
to... Explain to me, what is he actually trying to do there? Like, what's...
It's like a try
I
celebration.
think. Yeah,
He's still
is he thinking perhaps his head is the ball? And he's trying to strip the footy, but he's
Yeah, just trying to inflict a bit of pain, Dan. That's
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I will ask you this, fellas. I know we just touched on the 16 resting players. But what do you think impact it has on the Bulldogs? Because as far as my point of view is, I don't think they'd be happy at all.
Are you still there?
I would think.
They've got nothing to gain.
Do you want me to get your tickets for the game?
I would think the
Yeah,
Bulldogs.
we'll get you a box out of it. Is it a core stadium?
I'll be the only one there.
You can take a group of the ones that travel. You can take me to the
I'll be
box.
the only
Can you
one there.
imagine if it's 6-6 at half time? Honestly, that's why Canterbury have got nothing to gain now. If they win by 60, they're supposed to. But if it's close, all of a sudden they're going to be under the pump.
All right, stick around, journos. This Sunday, the F1 returns. Tune into the Dutch Grand Prix on Sunday on Channel 506 as Aussie Oscar Piastri looks to extend his 9-point lead.
This is Kotoni Staggs. That's S-T-A-G-G-S. They put the S at the end of his surname because there are two Kotoni Staggs. Unless you're a teammate or family, this one you'll never see. The private Kotoni Staggs is king of the kids. It is extraordinary. His former coaches, Wayne Bennett and Kevin Walters, are first to tell you how deeply he cares about the youth of today, about his compassion, kindness, generosity. How kids from everywhere flock to him.
Staggs has owned this contest.
The other Kotoni Staggs, the one you see out there every week,
Kotoni is in.
playing for the Broncos, is as tough as an old boot. Mean as, so aggressive.
He's away. He's like a superhero tonight.
Doesn't matter if he's running the ball or lining up in defence.
He's into the wall.
He's there to smash you, and smash you good.
Oh, Cleary. He's fouled by Staggs.
You saw him back in 2023 in the first ever Battle of Brisbane. How he let the NRL's new boys, these Dolphins,
It is their house.
know exactly which team owns Suncorp as a home ground. He comes from Wellington, where the Macquarie and Bell Rivers join, 50 kilometres southeast of Dubbo on the New South Wales Central Slopes. Wellington has always had a strong Aboriginal sporting influence, and Kotoni soon made his name there as a footballer, playing first grade at just 14. He played 3 years of local first grade before Wayne Bennett got into the Broncos, and even then, still a teenager. 2 years after his NRL debut, he won the 2020 Dally M Centre of the Year and has since played for the Blues, for Australia and for Tonga too.
Kotoni Staggs. He does it on his own.
On his day, he's close to the best player in the game.
There are few players in the game that could come up with a try like that.
So that's the Kotoni Staggs we all know and mostly fear. So watch him go 7:30 this Super Saturday. Kotoni Staggs and his Brisbane Broncos continue to race for the finals, this time against the Cowboys, right here on Foxloo.
Welcome back. How good was that teaser? Kotoni Staggs has been playing some awesome football for the Broncos. What a player he is. He's played for Tonga.
Yeah, well, he's played for both. I just saw the footage. Played for the Kangaroos, played for Tonga.
Well, is he going to play for the Kangaroos?
You would like to hope so, but
You're
when
the
you're a
assistant.
Kangaroo...
Have you picked him or you're the assistant
Well,
coach?
he last played for the Kangaroos. So
Yeah.
2023
So,
Kangaroos.
I don't think you beg anybody to play for your country. They like them, they choose. I don't...
What's
this
your
is
gut
me.
feeling?
Well,
If he-
this is me. No, if you put me as the coach, I don't ring anybody. The Australian jersey is big enough where whoever wants it, they'll put their hand up. When you ring them and say that they're selected, they say yes.
Big month of
And
footy for
Kotoni
him.
Staggs.
Would you have him in the team right now?
He's so good, isn't he? Yeah, mate. He's been the Broncos' probably best player the last couple of years, or the most consistent. He's been so damaging on the right. You got Latrell, you probably got Tommy as well. But yeah, certainly Certainly, I'm
You
pretty
guys,
sure.
you guys got him in the Aussie team right now?
He's got to be close to the form centre in the premiership.
Yeah.
Yep.
Does Tommy want to go? I'm sure he does. And he seems to be actually quite fit now, isn't he, Tom? So, he obviously walks into the side.
Latrell's been out injured.
Latrell walks into the team, though.
Yeah, well, if he's fit, yeah. And healthy.
He's made noise, hasn't he, that he wants to play?
Yeah, an indication that he'd like to be there. But this guy's outstanding. When
a
he's
power-
on,
absolute powerhouse.
yeah.
All right.
How many are you taking on the tour, Gordy?
I have no idea.
Have you worked out the drills you're going to put them through?
Okay.
Mate, 22 guys.
You got your drills all done, Gordy?
Dan, you're loving this, aren't you?
Gordy, get your cliche quotes
I
ready
think
just to bat us away.
Do we get like live crosses or something in the camp?
Why don't we do it?
I think the
Braith, you come in here and I'll do a live
I think the
cross.
assistant coach needs an assistant coach.
All right, so Titan skipper Tino Fasulamalawi has taken a swipe at the club after the sacking of Des Hasler. Take a look.
It's my second time now I've been through that. It's obviously very upsetting for myself, and especially you see the work that Des does behind the scenes, and someone's got to be held accountable. But talking about accountability, both times our coach is the only one that's been kept accountable, and there's got to be more than that. I'm not saying it needs to be changes. I just think both times there's been two people kept accountable, but no one else. So
is he the guy to keep you at the club?
yeah, I think so. I think he brings a lot of experience within the role that he's done. And I'm signed here. I don't have to make a decision until the end of next year. So I'm not worried about it. Like I said, I don't have to make a decision just yet.
Strong words there from Big Tino. Now, he's talking about a lack of accountability. Is he
Hopefully
is
that's
he-
directed at all of his teammates.
Was he talking about teammates or is he talking about officials at the club?
Well, he could be talking about me, but...
No, not you. No, I mean, like...
Well, I'm part of it. No, but like, hopefully, and it is true. Like, when a coach, and we're going to be doing this for a long time. As long as I'm sitting on this, there's going to be coaches get sacked. And instead of changing coaches, some clubs need to change their culture. And I think that's something that, that the Titans really need to do. And all the clubs down the bottom, you've got to look at your culture first.
I think they're doing both.
Who do you think he's
I
talking
think they're
about?
doing both. I think they're resetting the club's culture as well as
But
moving the coach.
Who's Tino referring to is what I'm trying to get to here.
I thought his teammates. What did
That's
you think?
That's what I took it as.
Yeah.
He's only won 15 games in 4 years. I'm not having... he's a heart and soul player and that club's got problems that need fixing, but he's on a lot of money. He's taking a lot of money of that cap, so...
He's important to them, Dan. He's
I understand.
hugely
I'm not
influential.
suggesting anything otherwise. He might be one of those players that gets a bit of scrutiny over the next couple of years if things don't turn around.
The big question, the $1 million question for the Titans, can Hene keep this man at the club?
Well, he's contracted. And he's on, I'd say, really good money for a front row. He'd be up there with the best front rowers paid in the game, like the Payne Hasses.
Well, he's seven figures, isn't he?
So, yeah. So, if you're going to get him, you'd throw the kitchen sink at him.
But is Hene the right man to keep
Well, he
him?
had him at Queensland, and I think Tino's. Look, when I speak to Tino, he really wants to focus on being the Queensland captain and earn his way. And obviously, the best way to do that is being with the Queensland team, in my opinion.
I would be stunned if he wasn't consulted on Hene. They've spent time together, obviously, in Origin camp. I would imagine that's a big tick of approval from Tino that this is the guy to take him.
My understanding is Josh has already had conversations with Tino guys just to start this process, to show Tino the vision of where he wants to take the Titans. And you're right, Gordy. They have a relationship that goes back to a successful Queensland Origin dressing room, and that's an attachment that you can hang your hat on as far as a relationship is concerned.
Agree. Is Josh Hene sitting down with David Fifita as he would be with Tino?
I think there's a conversation to be had with Dave.
Good or bad?
I think my feeling is, guys, is Fifita's already down the track on departing the club. We know that South Sydney and certainly Wayne Bennett are interested in taking Dave Fifita at a particular number financially.
Is that all we're at now? We've got to work out the mutual number and that's it.
I reckon it is. And I reckon Dave's coming around to the fact, well, certainly talking to Titans official, Dave is coming around to the fact that maybe a change would be good for me. And I'm playing under Wayne Bennett. It's a pretty decent lure as well.
So much to talk about, so little time. Let's get to our key player matchup journos for round 26. Who have you got? Thanks to Aussie Broadband, by the way.
The Origin players, Dearden versus Hunt. They can make a bit of a mess of the Broncos' run to the finals, the Cowboys, if they have one last
That's a
hurrah.
good shout. Hunt's been really good at halfback.
He has.
Friday night, fellas, Storm Roosters, perhaps up against Teddy.
Oh, yeah.
Two of the best fullbacks in their game. Cannot wait.
Fantastic as always. Dan, Dave, enjoy the footy. All right, up next, it's a Legends Agenda with James Graham and Nathan Kallis.
So clean, that tackle on Hoskin. Been a pretty good kick. Fuller coming across, got absolutely monstered by Tolu Kola. Yeah, what a tackle that was. And it is Fisher Harris and Tino. Oh, the two big hombres right off the kickoff. Oh, that is a great tackle. Tamare Mark. It's all happening here. Junior Barlaw throws the kitchen sink. Junior Tupou, welcome back to first grade. Fletcher Hunt coming out here, tough carry, and they had him lined up. Fletcher Hunt twice in this second half has had forwards rattle his cage.
Welcome back. Those were our crunch time hits of the round. Thanks to Red Rooster. Now it's time for the Legends Agenda with James Graham and Nathan Kallis. Hello, Legends.
Well, guys.
Nathan on debut. Let's get into this. All right, Jimmy. Huge news around Brandon Smith this week. Have you spoken to him? How's he going?
Yeah, look, Brandon obviously faces some serious allegations and charges, but you know what? He's made a strong stuff, and it's great to see himself stand by him, and I think now it's about playing football. It's obviously difficult for him and his loved ones, like any situation is, but like I say, he's made a strong stuff, Brandon Smith.
Nathan, you're coaching at the moment at Parramatta, currently sitting third in the Cup, I believe. Yep. How's the year going?
Great. Boys doing well. They're really working hard for each other there, and obviously with Rylesy and the new coaching staff in there, different systems there, so good times ahead. Yeah. The boys are really improving. The whole club's on the up. Yeah. It's exciting times, mate. Yeah,
how's Rylesy going? Because we've been really applauding him on the show. We've spoken to him a couple of times on Fox League, and seems to be doing a great job there. You enjoying?
He is, mate. He's very calm. He's been calm all year. He's very passionate. Like he wears his heart on his sleeve. Like you see him in the box every week. He just he wants the club to be really successful. He does really care for the boys too as well. So passionate dude, passionate guy. Got some great things with his coaching. Really well supported by his assistants there, Brownie, Sammy Moa, Scotty Wisemantle too. So it's going well, mate.
Nice.
Wayne Bennett always says there's two coaches that are coaching and coaches that are about to be sacked. There was another one last night with Adam O'Brien. Are we pulling the trigger too quick in the game with some of these coaches?
I really don't like this one Gorden. For me, what he's done with that roster over the past 6 years, he's overachieved. And I think he's took that team to finals, I think 4 from those 6. Like, look at that. Like, with all due respect, like, what's the expectation with the Knights? It's probably where they are. And even in seasons gone by, it's probably more of a reflection down the bottom end of the ladder. He's took that team to finals with. It's not one of these clubs that you look at and go, oh, that's a top 4 roster. And for me, it's similar to the situation at Canberra. A couple of years ago, Ricky Stewart was under all sorts of pressure. They stood by him because they knew he was the best man to figure out the problems, and look where they are now.
What about Kalyn Ponga? The situation, not a situation, but we spoke about it a little bit earlier. He's taken up a lot on the cap. As a new coach, do you come in and really focus on him and build a team around him, or do you consider maybe letting him play out his contract and rebuilding the roster?
Yeah, it's a good question there. He's obviously been a big part of the team for a long time. Quality player. He's someone that you can build that team around, given he wants to be there and wants to be part of that. I think that's the most important thing. Whoever comes in as a coach is sitting down, having that conversation with Kalyn and really work out if he really wants to be there and be part of that build. Because he's been there for quite a while now. Like I said, he's a great player as well.
Yeah. What about Penrith? Resting 16 players. You've been in a situation. Right decision, wrong decision. Would you like to have been rested?
I absolutely love this. It is such a flex of Penrith premiership chances. So what they've done is they've given up on a potential home semi. Not only do they rest their players, but that's what they've given up. Had they won their 2 games, I think they likely would have landed in 5th or 6th. They're now going to finish 7th. And you know what? They've said to the rest of the competition, we've got the minerals to come to you. So you know what? Brisbane, Cronulla, we'll see you round 1 of playoffs.
Yeah.
And we'll come to you. Like, that is a big flex. And we talk about Penrith and the winning, the 4-time premierships, the psychological advantage that they have. They're now getting in the heads of the opposition 2 weeks before the finals come. I love this move from them.
Well, I've got you. Galvin. Now, the boys asked me a couple of weeks ago, has it been a success? I said, give me a few more weeks. I don't know. I want to see how it plays out. After Melbourne, I'm still not sure, right? Like, it certainly hasn't not been a success. They haven't excelled as I thought they would when he came over to the club. How have you seen it?
I thought Friday night was his best game in a Dogs jersey against one of the best teams in the competition. I think we're seeing the shoots of his combination with Burton. Obviously, it came with a risk. I think, for this year, the jury's still out, but there's a lot of improvement in Galvin's game. Yeah. And I think he is adding to the team. And if he builds off that performance, all right, they didn't get the victory, but if he builds off that, the Dogs are in good shape.
What do you think, Nathan?
I think the upside that Lockie brings to the team, as James was saying there, you've seen some improvement. That's just going to continue each week. And obviously the coach and the coaching staff there feel that he's going to be a big part of that, and they're building towards a big campaign at the back end of the year. So, yeah, pretty good move, I feel.
Yeah. The Raiders with their thrilling victory the other night, do you think they're the competition favourites?
They're a team so exciting, and they're a team that they can score points from any position on the field, whether it's 5 metres off their line, like they proved. They can defend for long periods of time as well. So they've got threats all over the field, but their resilience that they've built over the last few years under Ricky, that's really starting to show, particularly this season. They've been at the top pretty much all season.
I think this scalp on Friday night is huge. Because now Ricky Stewart and the staff, instead of saying, I believe you can beat them, now I know. Yeah, and here's the evidence. And that's a big difference by encouraging the team that you can get the job done. I think they needed a big scalp going into finals, and that is huge. And really, a lot of focus will be on the magic at Mudgee in the end, but Fogarty should have kicked that goal.
Yes.
And it should have been done and dusted. But you know what? It didn't matter in the end.
What about the try? Here it is. The Golden Point try. Have you seen much better than this? Like a finish to a game, the ball hits the post, and then Strange with the beautiful work back on the inside.
It's like when you're coaching the kids, always chase the kick. You've got to be ready for it all the time, and there's proof. So a lot of coaches will be using that. A lot of kids coaches will be using it. When I say chase the kick, boys, you've got to get down there. But cracking try, and what a season he's having. Yeah. Ethan Strange, he's been outstanding.
Would you take him on the Kangaroo Tour?
100%, I would, yeah. For the future. Yeah. He's a good player. He's getting better and better every week. He's going to go deep into the finals as well, and that's obviously a big thing for Kevy and the staff. You want to look at players that are going deep into the finals. They're match fit. They're hardened.
Thank you. Yeah, you're asking the wrong person.
Come on, guys. Hey, listen, I'm not on the
inside info. Give us the inside.
You know what happens with inside information?
Should we ask Chemis if you'd pick him?
Mate, what about Desi Hasler, mate? You've been a massive supporter of him. Do you think Desi will go back, take a deep breath and coach again?
Knowing Desi, it's hard to see him accepting the fate that his NRL coaching career is done. He will keep fighting. I don't think time off and quote unquote retirement fits Desi's character. So I think he'll be back in some capacity.
What do they do with David Fifita up there? Do they keep him or do they let him go?
It's such a complex situation, isn't it? Because we've seen David at his devastating best. And there's arguably not a more devastating back rower in the competition. Maybe he needs a change, and the attraction to that would be he gets to play on that left edge of South Sydney. Like that is a huge attraction, but for the Titans, maybe it's time to cut ties.
I really feel like if you're part of a team and you want all your players and you want everyone to be all in, if you have guys that aren't quite there, then maybe you need to just sever ties and you know what, let's start afresh. So that'd be a big thing for me for the new coach coming in there, Josh Hannay as well.
Jimmy, I was talking to you in the green room. You're definitely going to be in England. You're taking a tour.
I'll be there.
But
Gordon.
huge crowds, sell out. It's going to be massive, isn't it?
Are you working or are you just taking a bit of cash cow?
Well, he's going to Ireland. He's stopping everywhere.
Learn from the best. Learn from the best. If anyone from the ATO is watching, look, can't wait to be there. Like, it's been so long since an Ashes tournament has been held in Rugby League. We know we've had Tri-Nations, we've had World Cups, but nothing quite like this. We kick off at Wembley with so much tradition. Yeah. It's on track for being over 70,000 people. Then at Everton and Liverpool, you Aussies better watch out because they've already pre-warned Kevy. The fireworks are coming out, Gordy, the night before the test. We've got some lads already. We've set the fireworks up, so a 4 a.m. little display. Welcome to Liverpool. You'll get woken up by that. Don't you worry. You'll be front and centre. And then Headingley, Leeds. It's going to be fantastic. Can't wait. International Rugby League. It's the best.
Oh, you two are going to have a ball over there. All right, Nathan, you're coach, assistant coach to the Kiwis, I believe. Yep. Samoa and Tonga. Now, their teams are looking red hot. Yeah. How are you guys looking? And it's going to be a pretty exciting series.
Those two teams are looking very strong. It'll be tough for us Kiwis. You know, we'll chip away. We'll do our best.
Look at this. A weak Kiwi side. Is that what you're saying?
There's a lot of attention on the Samoan and Tongan team, and rightly so. Some players that have put their hand up to play. It's just great for the international game. And playing and being part of some big games. Twice we've played Tonga now with the Kiwis, and that's been the loudest atmosphere, the loudest crowd for the whole game, whether we do something well or the Tongans do something well. It's just a great atmosphere, and I know it's going to be great with Samoa as well.
So good. All right, now, what are you loving? All thanks to Maccas. I'll start with you, Jimmy.
Yeah, the Dolphins and the Titans may not seem much to play for, but we'll see plenty of points. Can't wait to see those attacking players go into action.
No?
Yeah, looking forward to the Storm Roosters game. Massive rivalry between these two clubs, and then the Roosters, their bounce back from last week as well.
Beautiful. Thank you, Nathan. Outstanding on debut. Jimmy, fantastic as always. Up next, Joel Kane's weekend forecast, and following us, it's The Fan. Welcome back. Now it's time for an update from Sportsbet with the great Joel Kane. Jolie, welcome back. Sugar.
Oh, Braith, Gordy, hello to you boys. Now, we are so close now.
We
NRL ladder predictor, get yourself around that and tell me where you land. I couldn't believe this. You can check it out with Sportsbet. The NRL ladder predictor, the forecast. I have got, Sean the Trader has the same, Broncos running fourth.
Ooh.
So imagine this. This is how I see it, folks. Week 1. We've got the best final series of all time. If it goes my way, Raiders take on the Broncos week 1. Storm and the Bulldogs. That's paying $3.30. You can back it with Sportsbet. What about 5 to 8? This is how I see it, folks. Sharkies hosting the Roosters. That'll be drama. That's a chat for another day.
You've got the Roosters.
Just go to Allianz and just say anything over 11,000, we'll give you a check. That's what we need to do. Warriors host the Panthers. Panthers, please rest them next week again and just go, boss.
You want to rest again?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, imagine the
been an
competition.
uproar.
No, I'm resting again. I'm Lord Rest-a-Lot. And I'm good at resting. Oh, you can't tell. Yeah. But what about this? Speaking about resting, these blokes have been resting on tries. Just look at that beautiful eyes on the left-hand side. Big red. This is called NRL Weekly Hub to break the drought. We know it formerly as Mooney Run.
Yeah.
These boys to break the drought this year.
Big Red needs
But make sure you do it yourself.
Big Red
you
needs
don't
some
get
clear
it past
eyes.
you.
No, you can't do the pass.
Over the
the
line.
Gordy, the pass is gone. Nah.
Yeah.
I reckon that'll be banned soon. I reckon it'll be banned.
We can talk about this next week.
Okay.
Thank you, Joel.
Thank you, Braith.
See you next week. Thank you, Gordy.
Thanks, Braith.
That's it for NRL 360 for this week. Now it's time for The Fan.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.